All right, we're back with our review of Gods of Egypt. Where do we leave off?
So we're explaining how, okay, so this guy does not, obviously praise the gods. Set has slaves. So the whole thing is when Set creates these slaves, obviously both of them, the mourners, are put into slavery. Him pushing giant boulders for these pyramids. Her, because she's so, beautiful,
Yeah.
is more like a servant for this higher up, like architect for Set.
Just a quick thing. For a slave, he looked pretty clean the whole
Yeah.
movie.
Who's supposed to be someone who's like
He's supposed to be somebody that's poor in the dirt in a scrummy area of Egypt. Is first of all able to like walk properly and have everything. Like usually slaves back then, obviously they had back problems. They had
malnourished.
I mean, this is kind of nitpicking, but like he looks like somebody that came off the boat, off of just America to Europe to go on a vacation or something. It was like ridiculously inaccurate that part.
And so his whole thing, his fiance or whatever ends up dying. And his whole thing was.
How did she? I forgot. I even forgot
Remember,
how she died again.
She tells him to steal back Horse's eyes from
Yeah.
Set.
Oh, cause yeah.
She gets caught somehow. Don't explain how she got caught. Her
No,
master guy ends up shooting her with an arrow.
And the funny
As
part
they're
about
trying
it
to
is that
escape.
he's able to like get up after being knocked down,
Yeah.
get a bow and arrow, point the bow and arrow, and shoot her.
And he shoots her as they're running off, like a mile away on a chariot.
Chariot, because he's some awesome archer.
But then yet
for some
can't
reason.
shoot him for some reason.
Yep. Can't shoot him the
So,
second time.
yeah.
No, the funny part about it is, right, so he nails her right in the chest. Boom, right?
Yeah.
Like the back of the chest, kills her, right? The second shot hits like the house.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. So...
It hits like the... It doesn't even hit like the actual, like the maybe like a little like street vendor or something. It hits a house
Yeah.
like 40 feet away.
And so she dies. She tells him, don't lose hope in, Horus or whatever. So he goes find Horus, gives him back one of his eyes.
Goes, I'll only give it back to you if you...
Yeah, I'll only give it back to you and help you with your vengeance, like, mission if you bring her back to me from this underworld. And the whole thing that that the main character doesn't know is that Horus can't actually do that. He just tells him that he can. So he'll obviously help him with his vengeance mission.
Yeah. Which of course, because he needs a mortal to help
Yeah.
him on his vengeance mission,
The
right?
entire time, pretty much, this Horus is helping this guy not die.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then it's like about halfway through the movie, somehow this guy becomes like, just now he doesn't need help from this god, and he's totally like awesome and knows how to fight and
Yeah.
all this nonsense. So
He does stuff that is not mortal. Let's
so
just say that.
at the same, there's two different kind of storylines going on at the same time. There's Horus trying to get help to kill Set. So
Which he needs help from other
other
gods because he went to Ra and Ra told him he needs to get on his mission before he gets his wings back or whatever. Right?
And just to explain Ra in this movie, Ra is the ultimate god who is floating around the earth on a boat.
Is he actually floating or is he just like standing still?
No, he's
Is he
his
floating?
boat is
it's constantly moving.
constantly moving over
by the river. By the chance they're in space, right? By the river
of life.
Of life in space.
Yeah.
That's the Nile River.
And yeah, it's supposed to be like the Nile. Yeah.
What? How water just transports it up there, but whatever.
It's cold water too.
It's gold water too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So he is floating around the earth. His sole purpose is only to have this little spear thing and shoot fireballs at this giant space worm. Yep. I just said it. A giant space worm. They even refer to it as a worm.
A worm. A giant demon-like space worm.
It's supposed to be, I forgot what they call it, but it's supposed to be like pretty much all evil. It's supposed to be like this worm.
It's supposed to be, I would just say Heart of the Darkness.
It's supposed to be like, if you saw Fantastic Four, the Silver Surfer, it's supposed to be like Galactus.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Which just
it looks like
planets.
It looks like that mixed with the worm from Men in Black 2. Have you ever seen Men in
Yeah.
Black 2? The one with
So
the
yeah, it's
thousand.
supposed to just for some reason wants to consume this creation that Ra made, which is Earth. And every day and night he just shoots firebolts at it and scares it off a little bit and comes back.
Even though it's literally 100,000 times bigger than him.
Yeah.
For some reason, because I don't know why. He wants to swallow up the Earth, which is flat, which is the most ridiculous. Like I get it's kind of a cool concept. Oh, they thought the world was flat, but the world only evolves Egypt.
Yeah.
There is no other world. It's not it's not like they floated off the Earth and it would they would die or something. They literally only Egypt. The only world consists of only Egypt for some odd reason.
And so as Horus is on this vengeance mission, he goes. So there's Ra and so Horus and Set.
Mm-hmm.
Horus is trying to kill Set. Set is trying to become this ultimate god to prove
killing,
something to his dad.
Dad.
And in doing so, he's taking all these things from other gods. He's taking wings from his wife, which you don't know what.
She just randomly shows up. Oh, I have a wife, by the way.
Yeah, and she has wings and she can fly, but I'm taking them. Takes her wings, takes his brother's Osiris' heart, takes
his nephew's eye.
His nephew's eye. This other god's brain, who's supposed to be the god of wisdom and knowledge. Yeah. So and then he starts to become this ultimate god. He starts putting them all a part of him. So he nails these wings onto his back.
Because of course that works.
Shoves his brain into his head,
which randomly opens up the bad aliens from Skyline.
Yeah.
Just randomly pops open. Hey, there's my brain. And then he doesn't have a brain apparently. They stick his brain.
Yeah. Then he sticks his brother's heart in him, and then sticks his Horus's eye. There's a third eye on his forehead.
Like some kind of Indian ritual or something like that. And the movie.
So he's supposed to be now. He's made up of 4 gods essentially, and he pretty much conquers the entire Egyptian known flat world. Goes up to his father and is like, "Oh, look what I've done for you! I've done this all for you." And that's when Ra tells him, "Oh, I want you to take over for me."
He goes, "This is not even worthy of me. I'm better than this. Yeah. I can do this." Wine.
He's like, "I want to live in the kingdom that I created."
Blah blah blah.
So anyway, he's like, "No." For some reason, he
thinks the idea is great to let the worm.
He kills his dad.
Yeah.
Which
he stabs him. He shoots him. Yeah, he shoots him
with his fire from the staff that he uses to shoot at the worm. He falls off his shiny floating boat and is just drifting in the sky now. There's unconscious Ra. And since there's no one shooting at this worm, the worm comes down, tries to eat the world.
And that's his goal is to reshape the world. But it's a demon, right? So this worm is supposed to be a demon. He is supposed to be a god. Don't demons and gods fight, right?
And so while this doesn't ever explain why Set wants this giant worm to consume to reshape the Earth. That he fully conquered already. So this Earth is supposed to be his. He completely rules the entire known world.
Yeah.
And yet now he wants a worm to come and eat it. It just doesn't make any sense.
The inconsistencies in the film are obvious, but the thing is that it's I don't think they had enough time. I think the director or the screenwriters, which the director came out and bashed everybody that liked the movie. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying, right? Well, the thing is that inconsistencies of this, you can tell why this movie is panned. It's because first of all, if you control the world already, right? Why do you need to reshape it?
Yeah.
Why do you need to what is he supposed to do? Destroy it, and then what happens afterwards? It just turns into a wasteland, the exact same thing you didn't want to happen. You didn't want to control.
So anyway, obviously, good guys conquer in the end. But before that happens, so obviously, Horus comes back to get his vengeance on Set. Mm-hmm. So Set is supposed to be this very powerful god now with all these other god parts, right?
Yep.
Just to tell you, Horus's eyes are the all-seeing eyes, right?
Yeah.
So there's this part.
They can pinpoint on things.
Yeah, they're supposed to be all seeing. So there's this part where Set is flying there, looking around for Horus. Now, if you have one of Horus's all-seeing eyes, you should know where he's at.
Yeah, yeah.
But somehow gets tricked and blindsided by him.
No, of course.
So then he gets blindsided and is able. Then that's how Horus is able to overcome him, and smashes him like 30 feet into like rips off his wings, throws him like 2,000 feet into the ground.
Yeah.
And now he's Set's about to die. Horus gets his kingdom
well,
back.
Let's go back for 1 second, because okay, so they're on top of the thing, right? And Drummer Brothers just beating the crap out of this guy, right? And of course, the moral comes out of nowhere.
Comes out of nowhere.
Is able to like, first of all, Set grabs him by the throat, throws him across like not it's like let's just say 30 feet into concrete, like a concrete stone slab. First of all, does not die. Grabs him.
It's not even hurt.
Doesn't even hurt. Yeah, doesn't even get hurt. Throws him, like pins him against a stone wall, right?
By his throat.
And he's still able to whip out his little tiny knife, and just like boop, pops off the eye.
Pops off
the all-seeing eye.
Horus's other eye.
So Horus puts it back. It's about to. That's it. It's about to roll down.
Yeah. So then there's this giant like moral decision part that. So
like every other movie.
Yeah. So he's falling. His eye is falling. Which, if he had this eye, he would all of his powers back.
He could have his wings back.
Power. Obviously, you know what's going to happen. He jumps down, saves the mortal, lets his eye fall.
But why? Let's just go back to that point for 1 second. You grab the eye, you put it back in your face, and then you fly down to catch the mortal. Boom. Okay, that's problem solved right there. But no, of course. So he lets the mortal fall.
Lets his eye fall.
Yeah.
Grabs the mortal guy. And
then all of a sudden, again,
saves his thing, saves Ra.
But then randomly because remember his like wings popped out. Yeah, remember because he was trying to save the kid.
Because his whole thing was like that he didn't need his eyes to have the power.
That he just needed to get through his trial.
He just needed to know. That,
oh yeah.
Inside.
That he was able to do it.
He was able to do it. So then blah blah blah. Horus gets his kingdom back, Set's dead, he saves Ra. Ra comes down, it's like, I am in your debt, what do you want? He turns to the moral guy, goes, and at this time, after the mortal is falling off the thing, he catches him, saves him. He still ends up dying because he has a cut in his ribs from somewhere.
Something.
So
he was able to be thrown across a thing, hit a slab of concrete with his head. Don't get touched.
A little rock.
This is like the Fast and Furious franchise all over again. Like some little teeny like scratch like freaking kills him.
Yeah, kills him. So he like bleeds out and dies.
So, well, this is after Horus does this little flying thing, goes up to his dad. It's floating in the middle of the space.
Sky.
Saves him.
So yeah, like I said. Horus gets his kingdom back, Ra is saved, Set is dead, but now, his two friends are dead, like, the mortal guy that was helping him and his, the mortal's lover are both dead, and Ra comes down and is like, oh, what can I,
help you with?
I'm in your debt, I'll give you something in return for saving me, so, obviously, he's
so like, he gives him 3 wishes.
Yeah, I want my buddies back, and boom, they're both back to life, they're now, like, high people next to the kings of Egypt, and it ends with Horus
going after his
lover.
Which let's go back to for 1 second to so when the girl dies, right? The wife dies. She's literally at the gates of either hell or heaven.
Well, first she gets to go to purgatory. Anubis takes her to purgatory, which again is the only good thing about this movie. Is
but
how they made him look.
I love how everybody can turn into a like creature and turn it off. Horus is the only god they cannot for some reason.
Anubis?
Anubis.
Well, Anubis I don't think can because he was never living among them. He's in the underworld, which I get. But so, anyways, Anubis takes his wife down to here. He has to go through the 9 gates of purgatory. Then you go to your decision making, which is, if you know about Egyptian mythology, they're buried with their gold.
The more gold
you have is whether or not you go to heaven or
heaven
which would be our heaven and hell.
Or hell, yeah.
In the movie, it's more like if you have money, you go to heaven. If you don't have money,
you go to hell.
Bye, you're gonna die.
Well, okay, so first of all, she gets all the way there, right?
Yeah, she's at the point where they're now deciding these like dead pharaohs get to decide whether which way you go. She's about to decide whether she's gonna go to, good heaven or bad hell.
And it just like randomly, it doesn't even explain that apparently the portal to heaven or hell, which of course Ra can't be a part of for some reason, gets like randomly sucked out because apparently the demon's coming. So it randomly gets sucked out for no reason. Doesn't explain it. So she's sitting there, right? The pharaohs, the dead pharaohs have been explained the whole time. Put your gold in the thing.
Yeah.
Put your gold in the thing, right? So did she just like wait there, just like chill out, like hold on, guys, hold on, my mortal boyfriend's gonna come down, and Horus is gonna save us. So just give me 1 second.
Horus's like lover is this goddess girl, who ends up after Horus gets exiled, starts sleeping with his uncle Set, because she's afraid she's gonna die. Anyway, so for some reason she's the goddess of love. So she can travel between our world and the underworld because if you still love people that have passed, she should still be able to talk to her for some reason. And
apparently she was like in the demon world for a while for some reason.
In the demon
world. They briefly explain it, but it's like a little like explanation. Like,
really
here you go.
They don't really explain it at all, though. They just say she was in the demon world.
I think they explain it just to say like, oh hey, we had this explanation. Like, look at this. We at least have this.
You just know she can't come back. She can't go back to the demon world. And she has to wear this bracelet
that Horus
gave her. It has like 52 stars on it.
Because of the 52 demons.
Yeah, one representing every demon. He's slave for her.
I thought suns are supposed to be gods, but whatever. Apparently demons are part of suns now or something.
Yeah, they're stars and like, so she wears this bracelet so the demons don't get her. If she takes it off, the demons will get her. She takes off this bracelet, gives it to the mortal guy so he can go down to the underworld and explain to his lover like, hey, I'm fighting for you, don't cross over yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why at the end of the movie the moral guy gives Horus bracelet and goes, here, go find your lover now in this demon world. How Horus is supposed to get to the demon
world?
No idea.
No idea. It just ends off with this like cool little fly scene.
Him little flying scene around the city, and Skidoosh, he goes off to find his lover.
It's just like, and the best part of the movie, he goes, most cheesy line of the thing, right? After he gets a little scratch, right? The guy goes, you should be the god, like Horus goes, you should be the god of impossible.
No, he goes, are you sure you're not a god?
Oh, are you sure you're not God?
And then
he's like, what god would I be?
Yeah, what god would I be? A god
of impossible. Even though I'm the god of impossible. I die by a little scratch.
Yeah.
Little scratch. And so the thing is that they explained it in the very beginning that even Ra can't bring back the dead, right? Not even Ra.
He's not supposed to, but yet at the end of the movie, he somehow gets the power to bring people
right? Back. And literally, this is their explanation because they don't explain anything. There's so much let's just say there's so much plots and so much conflicts going on in the movie. You don't get lost, but you just get bored of them. You don't care about them, and like this is one of the plot points where in the beginning they're like, not even Ra can do this, and this is how they explain what this conflict that happens in the book. You go, I thought that was supposed to be impossible. It is, but yeah, he can do it. He can do it.
The mortal literally asks Horus, I thought bringing people back to life is impossible.
Yes. And he goes, it is.
Horus's response is just, it is.
And it's just like, shrugs it. Literally, I swear to God, I thought he was going to be like, because he shrugs his shoulder too, right? Yeah. He goes, I thought they were about to do like a dance number, like, I can't explain it.
Yeah, well,
Look at
this
this.
just says it is, but I'm like, how
I thought it
can
was a
you
comedy
say
show
that
at that point.
when you just saw your grandfather bring two people back to life?
life.
Obviously, it's not impossible.
And let me go back to the biggest, literally the plot would just crumble in its own self. Okay, so the girl that slept with both him, Horace, and his uncle, creepily enough, is the power of love. Can control people that aren't in love, right? So, first of all, the king, Set, was never loved the whole movie.
He explains several times in the movie how he's like, I can never be in love.
That I'm in love basically with himself, which doesn't explain how he's
unless that's the reason.
No. That cannot. No. First of all, it would explain that if it actually made sense. If it actually knew in its head, like the director knew in his head, like what they were doing. He's supposed to control that, right? So he controls. So she should be able to control Set because he's not in love. Everybody that's not in love should not be able to be controlled.
Yeah.
So, movie over right there. And you can say that's not nitpicking. This is not even close to nitpicking. That's just a bad screenwriter having no idea what he's doing. A director that has no idea what he's doing. Casting, first of all, flower white, Snow White characters in a place with Egyptians, which is where's Egypt at? Africa, which majority are not like black, but they're like darker skinned.
Yeah.
At least that completely does that. So I can't even. There's so much.
Just let's just say.
There's so much inaccuracies in the movie.
Don't watch this movie.
Don't pay for it. But when you find it on Netflix one time, in like the dollar bin in Dollar Tree one time, please pick it up because I laughed at this movie. It's depressing at the point, but it's like a Batman and Robin bad. It is beyond terrible. I would say it is probably one of the worst movies in years. Like. Yeah. At least some of the movies I hated last year, they actually had a concrete, like they knew what they were doing. In this movie, they just like put it on screen to look beautiful.
Yeah.
So overall, I would say if you are a die-hard fan of Egypt,
do not
see it.
If you have if you know anything about Egyptians and their mythology or at all, anything
and their
like
heritage
that,
and ethnicity,
ethnicity,
heritage, anything about it, do not watch it. If you want an action movie,
don't watch it.
Don't watch it because the action and CGI in the movie is terrible.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie is absolutely hilarious. I'm not even going to give it. I literally will not give it a rating. I'm just going to say hilariously inaccurate. That is my rating.
I'm going to give it a 1 for the sole fact I liked Anubis. That's it. I just liked the way he looked.
And stuff was beautiful in the movie. It was brilliant. That's the one thing where like the scenery was amazing looking. Everything else,
scenery and Anubis gives it a 1, and that's pretty much it.
If I had to put a rating to it, I would 0.5. All right, that's our review for Gods of Egypt. If you would like to hear more, could you please subscribe? Click that like button at the bottom of the thing. Share it, whatever you want. But we'll see you next.